Hello! Today I'm super excited to take a look at the first short sketch comedy on Feedback Friday. If we haven't met yet, I'm Genki Hagata, and on this channel, in this series, I do my very best to break down videos of all kinds, see what's working, what's not working, also that we can have a constructive conversation and learn something from it. Today we're taking a look at a sketch comedy by Micaela Hoo, and as she puts it, it's an unromanticized look at writing your first book. This video was shot for the Moment Film Festival in 2019, and doing that, it was shot on an iPhone XR with a Moment telephoto lens. And the fact that it's shot on an iPhone may give some people the impression that it was in some way easier, but in fact, this was a big team effort in the writing, organizing, set building, staging, production, and post-production. And it's important to recognize the effort that goes into all of those different things, not only out of respect for the people involved and the creators, but as a reminder to ourselves that some things aren't always as simple as they look, and we should probably plan accordingly and save ourselves some extra time for pre-production and production. I remember seeing this short film back when she first did it in 2019 for the film festival, so I'm super excited to see it again here and break it down for Feedback Friday. Let's get into it.
Oh, hi there. So you think you're a good writer, and you have an idea. A blue ribbon idea that is destined to be a bestseller. While the process of becoming a published author is technically only a few steps.
First of all, the fact that this takes place inside of a Google Doc while writing the book is not only meta, but I feel like it's very creative and unique. I'm not super well versed on sketch comedies for writing your first book, but I feel like this is very unique and creative and really well done.
Steps. Don't get too cocky. It's not as easy as it looks.
And aside from the fact that it's inside of a Google Doc, this shot itself, I feel like does a really good job really quickly to help you understand the tone of the video. It's fun, it's colorful, and the sound design is quirky, so immediately you know it's comical in nature. And I think that's really important for a short video like this when you only have 3 minutes for a film festival.
All writers start out with as much gusto as a frugal dad loading up his plate at an all-you-can-eat buffet. And your gears are spinning faster than the revolving door at Macy's on Black Friday. You are in your groove. Yeah, baby.
I'm no expert in comedy, but so far we already have a great combination of visual and physical comedy, as well as the voiceover, creating more opportunities for the comedic responses from the film itself. And it's working really well.
Mom calls to check in on your idea.
Again, the use of the Google document and the way the video is cropped to look like they're actually dropped into the document is really well done and really well tied in as a theme.
The honeymoon stage lasts for approximately 5 minutes before you inevitably hit the wall.
This is a good use of a prop, not only as decoration and a kind of comedic prop in the wide shot, but then again, part of the dialogue and part of the story, we zoom into it and use the speeding up of 5 minutes to use it as a joke in itself. And it's working well.
The wall is a block every writer experiences when they realize A, their idea is trickier to execute than they thought, B, going to take a really long time to finish, and C,
By stage 3, we start to notice that each stage has its own soundtrack, its own musical theme, and I feel like that does a really good job to help communicate the feelings of each stage and the moods.
All writers start out with as much gusto as a frugal dad loading up his plate at an all-you-can-eat buffet. The wall is a block every writer experiences when they realize A, you start to examine your work with a more critical eye.
It's really subtle when you're watching it through the first time, but going back and breaking it down, you really start to notice how deliberate those things are and how much of an effect it has on the final piece, and breaking out those 3 different narratives within the one larger story.
Common occurrences in the self-doubt stage include comparing yourself to others, blaming it all on your childhood, crying, emotional eating, and fantasizing about destroying all of your work.
I'll touch on the behind the scenes in just a second, but this montage of all the different feelings is a great look into all the effort that she and her team put into capturing all these different angles and all these different shots, just to only have these clips on screen for 1 second maybe, and even have them layered over later on. So kudos to the effort that went into this. It really shows in the final production. Touching on the mood thing just a little bit, I wonder if it would have worked to not only have the musical themes for each section and each mood, but just like you did at the end of this one, we start to lose that color contrast. I wonder if each theme had a little subtle color grade to it to kind of help, I don't know, help enhance the mood. I wonder if that would work better. I don't know if you tried. I'd be curious to see if Michaela tried that.
Oh, what's that? A magical writer's block fairy visits you, and you
Really
wake up
nice
feeling
use of the saturation that we lost in that last stage as you kind of got into that depressed mood to then bring it back with as a joke and as a kind of storytelling visual thing. Really good choice. It shows some forethought there too.
Suddenly, everything's going to be okay. You realize your idea might actually be salvageable. No, beyond salvageable. Stupendous.
Level the banana
Approximately
peels everywhere.
252 cups of moderately caffeinated tea, 81 pep talks with mom, 63 diffusions of lavender oil, 52 attempts at chakra balancing, 24 experiments at self-reikiing ideas into your brain, and 0 showers later, you write a book you're really
All
proud
these
of.
shots within the Google Doc feel really good and they're working, but again, they show a high level of production when you're going through the effort of taking every single different shot to then show it for 1 second and then layer over it.
There are a few other stages that involve finding a literary agent, securing a solid book deal with a publishing company, etc., etc. But I believe in your ability to Google. Sometime during these stages, you take a shower and change your clothes.
The outfit change here with the shower bit, it works nicely. I almost missed it because that switch is in the same spot and it happens so quickly. I wonder if there could have been something there to, exit the frame messy and come into the frame clean and show that you've showered to help, enhance the visuals there so it didn't feel so like I almost missed it. It still works as a gag and I buy into it. I just watching it really carefully and nitpicking at it a little bit. I wonder if there's just a little bit something else that could have happened there.
The day the stork drops off a hard copy of your published book, you're more thrilled than a pageant mom miming out her daughter's routine.
Again, there's jokes all around and subtleties here and there that show a lot of forethought. And this stage 347, it's working.
You did it! I knew you could do it. The process wasn't so bad now, was it? The real question is, when are you writing your next one?
I've been thinking about doing a video here on when it's okay to use circle wipes and star wipes and those fun transitions. At the end of a sketch comedy, that's a place where it's okay to use a circle transition like that. I really like this video when I first saw it last year. I still like it. I think it's even better now that I kind of broken it down and I've seen all the work that's gone into it that you don't see by just watching the finished product. Michaela, I've done a great job here writing this sketch comedy, and I think this is a perfect example of how to make something really well polished with just using your iPhone. Being that it was shot on an iPhone, Michaela was a little bit concerned about the lighting and the exposure and whether or not it was distracting. iPhones can be very unforgiving when it comes to exposure, so I think lighting the set in this way is pretty well done. And the fact that you put it in a Google Doc almost kind of masks the issues, if there are any, and we don't really see them, and especially since the writing and the sound design and the voiceovers all go really well together, the visual part of it, it's not very distracting. If we look really carefully at it, there's a couple things that we could nitpick. One being the lighting direction. It's lit from two sides and we can see the shadows going opposite directions, coming right off the cat clock. It does create a nice flat lighting, and that does great things for keeping this backdrop nice and flat and not moody. And we have saturated colors everywhere that keep that fun kind of comical vibe. So I don't think that you would necessarily need to get rid of those shadows, but it's just something to look out for if you're working on your lighting and your lighting design. And other than the couple things I already mentioned as nitpicks here and there, I think this turned out really well, especially for someone who's doing this for fun. I wouldn't have guessed that you just do videos for fun and you don't do them professionally. It's really well written. I'd love to see you do more comical sketch shorts like this, Michaela. It turned out great, and I know you could probably do a lot more like this. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, this was a big effort put together by more than just Michaela. It was a team of people, and I highly recommend you take a look at the behind the scenes video that she put together, not only explaining the purpose and the writing of what it's for and what she's doing, but it shows a lot of behind the scenes of what the team went through, even in hair and makeup, and turning her bedroom into this set that really show how much of a production, how much effort it takes to make something as well polished as this. Personally, I'm really big on showing the work and seeing all the effort that leads up to have the final product and not just the final product itself. If I made a documentary on the process like this, I'd call it showing the work or something like that. And I've thought about that. But I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed her video. Again, highly recommend looking at the behind the scenes, and I hope you learned something by taking a look at the first short comedy sketch on Feedback Friday. For more episodes of Feedback Friday every Friday, make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you want to have your video reviewed on this channel, or you'd like to join the Feedback family, which is a small group of creators of people just giving and receiving feedback to get better at what they're doing, you can find a link to those things in the description below. If you made it this far, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.